Hello, everyone. So I hope all of you are doing great. So today we're going to talk about a wonderful theoretical concept, one of my personal favorites, to be honest with you. It's called the Johari window. So what is the Johari window? How do we use it in our context is something that we are going to discover in a step-by-step phased manner today. So first things first, let's understand what exactly do we understand by the term Johari. So here it is, the Johari window. So what is the Johari window? Now, there are several definitions to it, but one of the simplistic definitions that I would like to share with you is this. It is a technique which has been designed to help people better understand their relationship with themselves and with others. Wow, that's very powerful, isn't it? So, a lot of times we go through our life as well as our careers without understanding more about ourselves or without giving a glimpse of who we are to others. So, this is an opportunity, a technique which provides us a glimpse into our own selves and also gives us the chance to help us explain ourselves to others. So that is typically what the Johari window is. Now, where did it all get started? So these are the people responsible for it. Harry Ingham and Joseph Luft, or Luft as you might want to pronounce it. These were the two gentlemen who way back in 1955 came up with the idea or the concept of the Johari window. And in fact, the term Johari is a culmination of their names. Okay, so Joseph and Harry is how you coin the term Johari. So that's in a nutshell about what the Johari window is. It's a reflection, it's a tool which allows us to understand ourselves and also allows us to explain ourselves to the rest of the world. But what exactly is it? What are the dynamics involved here? So let's try and understand and decipher that. So this is what the Johari window is all about. Now, if this looks complicated, I would say, please don't get confused, breathe easy. Very, very simple to understand. So let me take some time to explain you everything in depth. Now, as you can see, the Johari window is been divided into what we call as four quadrants or four sections here, right? So each of those sections means something. What are these four sections? We call them open, hidden, blind, and unknown. So let me take an opportunity to explain each of this to you. Now, if you see the open section, which is to the topmost left of your screen, it talks about something which is known to you about your own self, and it is also something that is known to others. So known to self and known to others is what we call as open. Now, what does that really mean? So let me give you an example. The fact that you can drive a car or you can ride a bike or you can write a book or you can do something about your life which is known to you and also known to other people in your life is called open. Now, as the word itself describes, open means it's an open secret. Everyone knows about it. And that is why it falls into the territory of open. And you can see that it falls between something which you know about your own self and also others know about you. And that's why we call it open. Now, there could be many things about your own life that are known to you and known to others. Okay. And therefore, it will always be a big area of your life. Now, if you go slightly downwards, you'll see a territory called hidden. So what is hidden? This is intriguing. There are certain things about our life which are known to self. That means you know about it, but the rest of the world may not be. Now, there could be reasons for it. Either you have deliberately and consciously hidden it from others, or maybe you never felt the need to share this with others. For whatever reason, it is still hidden from the rest of the world. And that's why it falls into the territory of what we call as hidden. Okay, so we hide it either intentionally or unintentionally, and therefore not anyone or everyone is aware about it. So it falls into the category of hidden. Let's say, for example, the fact that while you were in college, you could organize amazing events. You could, let's say, you could do mimicry or you could dance, you could sing, all of these things. And you are aware about it, but maybe your colleagues at work have no clue about it. Or for that matter, even at your workplace, there are certain things which you know you could do. For example, you know you're a master in advanced Excel or PowerPoint. You know about it, but your colleagues may not be aware about it. Maybe you did not tell them, or you never felt the need to share it with them. Whatever the reason is, it is still in the hidden category. Yeah. Now, let's move on to the next category, which is to the top right hand side of your screen, which is called blind spot. Now, this is a very interesting one. So let me give you a simple reflection into your own school days, and you might be able to understand this better. If you ever had this situation where the moment you got up from your seat, everyone started giggling and laughing, looking at you, and you couldn't understand why people are doing that, until one of your close friends tells you that behind your back there is a paper which reads, "I am a donkey." Now, that's quite embarrassing, isn't it? But the fact is, what happened here is something which the rest of the world could see, but you couldn't see that. Everybody could see it. You couldn't see it. Now, this is typically what we call as the blind section. This is something which is unknown to self because we can't see it, but it is known to others. They can very well see it. Now, are there things in our life like that? There are. For example, there are things about our life where we think we are good at, but we may not be good at. For example, some people believe they're very good at communication skills. But the moment they leave the room, everyone starts gossiping, saying that, "Oh my God, he's such a terrible communicator. Okay, just doesn't know when to stop." So you might believe that you're a good communicator, but others may not share with your thought process. Or someone might notice something in your behavior which is not that great. For example, you might have the habit of chewing nails as things get very, very tense. You might not have observed it, but the rest of the world has seen it, or at least some people have observed it. So these things are blind to you. Others can see them, but you cannot. That's what we call the blind section. And last but not the least, you have what we call as the unknown. So what is unknown? Okay, here's another example. Suppose you and your friends are enjoying a party in a restaurant. Suddenly, the waiter comes shouting towards you and tells you that there is a fire because of a short circuit and all of you need to evacuate quickly. Now, everyone is absolutely panicked except for you. So this is what you tell your friends. You tell your friends, "Look, we need to take a right, and that is where the fire exit is. I think we should be out of here in a matter of minutes." Everyone follows your instructions. In a matter of minutes, you're outside the building, you're all safe, and you're thanking your stars. Now, everyone looks at you with a sense of intrigue, and they look at you and say, "You know what? We never thought you could do this." And then you look back at them and say that, "You know what? Even I never knew I could do this." So this was something that others had no clue that you could do. And even you had no clue that you could do something like this. This is what we call as unknown. Now, there are things in our life which we are capable of or incapable of, which we have no clue about and others have no clue about. We call them the unknown. Okay. Now, I've explained you what is open, what is hidden, what is blind, what is unknown. What do we do about this, and why is it important for us? So the question really is, if you want to be successful in anything that you do, whether in your careers, in your life, which of these four quadrants do you think should be the biggest one? Just think about it for a moment. Did you get that? The answer is open. The more people know about you and the more you know about yourself, the better it is. Now, I'm not saying that you need to share everything and anything with people, but as far as possible, the more people know about you, the more you know about yourself, it's going to help you perform better because people know you're capable, you know you're capable, and therefore you can succeed in any endeavor that you take up. And that is why, if you look at the life of celebrities, if you look at the life of famous people, they know about themselves and we know about them because we read about them, we watch their videos, we take keen interest in their life. And that is why we know about them. Similarly, when people know about you and you know about yourself, there is an opportunity for you to expand your horizons. And that is why the open section has to be ideally the biggest one out of the four. But in order to expand the open, you need to also squeeze on the other three. So how do we do that? Let's look at each one of them again. So open is open. It's already going, existing. It's already out there and people know about you and you know about yourself. What do we do about the hidden? Now, by definition, hidden talks about things that you know about yourself, but others don't know, right? It's hidden from the rest of the world. So identify things in your life which You don't want to hide any further. Maybe you want to share those things. Many a times when people talk to me during coaching sessions, they ask me, what, I'm good at so many things, but my boss never, notices them, and he never tells me that I can get an opportunity to do that. And then my next question is, have you ever told your boss or your manager that you're good at something, that you're good at this, and therefore you need an opportunity? And then they think for a moment and say, what, maybe I haven't told him. Yeah. So that's precisely the point. Something which you have hidden from the rest of the world is unknown to them. And therefore, you got to share. You got to tell them that this is something which I know I can perform better, whatever skill that might be, whether it's people management, whether it's communication, whether it's presentation. You got to talk about it. Unless you share that consciously with people, people would not have any clue. And that is why we need to reduce the hidden by sharing about it. The moment you share it, it's no more hidden. It falls into the territory of, you got that right, it falls into the territory of open, because you have now shared it, you know it, others know it, it's no more hidden, it's now open. Now, does that mean you share everything? No, not necessarily. You share things which you feel are good about your personality, and therefore others deserve to know about it. It could be about your skill sets, it could be about what you're good at, your strengths, and so on and so forth. So identify things that you would want to share, and then share them one at a time. The next one, which is blind. Now, what you do about this, because you have no clue about the fact that a blind even exists. Yeah. And that's why we call it blind. This is where we actively need to seek feedback. We need to ask for feedback every now and then so that we know what people are thinking about us. They could be right, they could be wrong, but at least they will be able to share their perspective with us. So ask for feedback. Now, who are the people who can give you feedback? People who know you well. For example, it could be your colleagues at workplace. It could be your manager. It could be people with you work, for example, your clients or your vendors. It could also be people from your personal life, like, for example, your spouse, your siblings, your parents, your friends. It could be anyone. So if you want to know more about what people think about you, what is their perspective about your persona, then you got to ask feedback. And feedback is absolutely critical in this context. So the moment you ask for feedback, what people knew, you also get to know about it. So now they know and you know. So once again, the blind gets converted into the open. And that's precisely what we're trying to achieve. Correct? Okay, and then finally you have the unknown. Now this is a bit tricky, isn't it? Because you have no clue about it. Others have no clue about it. So what the hell should I do about this? So the fact is, in order to uncover or explore the unknown, you can do a very simple thing. And the simple thing is, you have to experiment. The more you experiment with your own self, the more you experiment with who you are as an individual, you will have an opportunity to learn about yourself. So for example, if you are not sure that you can play a musical instrument, what do? There you go. You pick up the musical instrument and try learning about it. At least you will get to know whether you can play some of it or you're totally bad. Whatever the case might be, you have now got new knowledge. Similarly, some people are always afraid, can I travel alone? Well, the only way to find out is if you take the first step and travel alone. Unfortunately, a lot of times we do not do this because of the fear that maybe I'll fail, maybe I'll not be able to recover. Now, these are personal inhibitions which hold you back. And that's why you got to experiment. The more you experiment with yourself, you will have a fair chance of understanding whether you're good at it or you're not so good at it. And that's why there is an opportunity for you to try and experiment with what you know and what you don't know. So that is how you expose the unknown, by experimenting with your own self. And the moment you experiment, you get to know something about your own self, and you can then share it with others. And that is how you can also take the unknown into the zone of open. So the point is, anything and everything that we're trying to do, we're trying to expand the open. The more the open expands, the more you know about yourself, the more others know about yourself. So your relationship with yourself and others blossoms. And that is the whole purpose of this theoretical framework. Now, the question might be, how do I put it to use? What is it exactly that I need to do? So here is what you need to do. In terms of using the Johari window, there are three simple steps that you could take. The open need not be touched because it is already there, it's existing. But in terms of exposing the hidden, as I said, identify, write down two qualities or two skill sets or two strengths of yours that you want to share with others. Now, who are these others? That is what you need to decide. It could be your manager, it could be your team members, your colleagues, your clients, people who deserve to know more about you, or even could maybe your family members. Yeah. So share with others something consciously that you feel will benefit you in the long run. For example, if you tell your manager, I'm good at a particular skill, maybe whenever there is a vacancy for a skill set like that, who knows, you might get the opportunity. So talk proactively about things that you're good at, but you first need to identify what you want to share. So you need to expose the hidden. Then you need to uncover the blind, ask for feedback. But you can't ask for feedback from any Tom, Dick, and Harry. You need to identify people who can give you quality, genuine, and most importantly, honest feedback. So identify two people in your life who can give you that feedback. Ideally, you might want to pick one person from your professional life and one person from your personal life. People really know you better. It could be a close friend, it could be your manager, it could be a colleague, a client, your father, sister, brother, mother, anyone. Someone who really knows you well. Okay, so identify two people, one personal, one professional, and they should be able to give you feedback. And here's the trick: when you ask for feedback, and the moment they start sharing feedback, there is one simple rule that you need to share, that they need to give you one thing which is good about you and one thing which is an area of improvement, right? So you want to have a balanced feedback. If you just get overwhelming positive feedback, then that might, kind of blossom your ego, which is not such a great idea. At the same time, if you only get critical feedback, it might make you feel less confident about yourself. So you need to have balanced feedback. So that's a good idea that you can go ahead with. And last but not the least, with regards to the unknown, identify one or two things that you want to experiment with. Maybe there is a new opportunity that's been knocking on your door. You've been thinking about it for quite some time. It's an opportunity. So try whether you can do it or you cannot do it. There is no harm in trying. If there is something that you wanted to do for a long time, to experiment with your own personality, for example, learning a foreign language, learning to drive, learning to play a musical instrument, taking a solo trip, whatever it might be, unless you give it a try, you would never ever get to know, right? So you have to experiment. Experimentation in smaller steps is the beginning of wisdom. So the moment you do all of these things, it will give you a lot of self-confidence, it will give you encouragement, and it will also give you the necessary boost that you need to have in your life in order to perform better. And the moment you do that, you will see that you'll be able to maximize on your relationship with yourself and also your relationship with others. So that is typically what the Johari window is. It's a theoretical framework, but I believe it's very, very practical as well. So try applying the Johari window in your context, professionally and personally. And I'm sure it will benefit you a lot. It will give you a lot of ideas about who you are as individuals and what you need to do in terms of enhancing your personality further. So what are you waiting for? Try this and do let me know in the comments as to how this has helped you. And I will try my best to help you further and support you further on this journey. So thank you so much for listening in. And I wish you all the very best in understanding yourself better and helping others understand you better. That's all from my side. Thank you so much for being with me.